Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. Going
Hmm.
on.
Okay. Wow, a lot actually. But yeah, I did make a point of writing a couple questions down,
All right.
um, because and I will say some of these are ones I've asked other people before, but there's not like a one size fits all answer to these. So I'm trying to be a sponge is what I try to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
with, with this. Um, and because I know when we had talked last time, and I'd asked you about YouTube, you were like, that was one of your top things, was like, oh yeah, use YouTube, do make
Mhm.
put more of your own stuff. But along with that whole like I mentioned at the beginning, I'm trying to I'm also just trying to like network with more people and and like just get my name out there so people know I exist, because otherwise how are they going to find my stuff?
Yeah.
um and so I had uh yeah, here we go. Uh, I know of a few places to look for slash post, look for places where people post for auditions. But I was wondering if you knew of any. Did you have like a go to three or four places that you go to look for work? And I was, because odds are you're going to have some that I don't have, and more is better in that case.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, Fiverr's a great one. Voice Bunny. There's a lot of stuff on Voice Bunny.
Mm.
Uh, um, you can go on Facebook. I think there's like Audio Alliance group or
Hmm.
something like that, which that's more Christian audio dramas and not paid, from what I can tell. But that's
Oh,
still,
okay.
if
Oh,
that
oh yeah. It's.
that's a great place. Like if you don't have any credits, that's a great place to start.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's Audio Drama Alliance. Are you on Facebook?
I am. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I think that's what it's called. Uh, yeah. Anyway, Facebook
Okay.
groups are a good
Okay.
place. A lot of
Yeah.
times that kind
I
of
have
thing.
a I have a couple Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and then since going to Colorado, I've found a few more, which is good.
Yeah,
Uh,
and then just being on, um, call sheets for people. Like if you know somebody that does open, uh, sort of tryouts, open auditions for their projects, you can
hmm.
always email them and say, "Look, I'm not asking. I'm just asking to be on your email list, and that way I can send in an audition anytime you do a casting call."
Oh yeah,
That's a good
oh yeah.
idea.
I did that actually recently with I don't know if you know Austin Peachy.
Yeah,
Have you met
I know.
Austin?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I hadn't met him officially until Colorado, but he premiered the newest drama from Heart Matters, which was the Potion of Power, when we were there. And I afterwards, a few days ago, actually, I emailed him and I said, "Hey, it's me. Can you because I it was so funny. I asked him. I put a comment on his Facebook on something he'd commented. I said, "How do you get on the list for work with you guys?" And he said, "Oh, just email me. Here's my email again.
Yep.
Email
There you
me."
go.
Okay, cool, great.
Exactly. That's how you
Um,
do it, and just keep doing
yeah.
that.
Have you figured out now? This is very specific, but um, do you the I know there's a way to do it, and I don't know how yet. I need to Google it. But when you send professional, like potentially to a for an audition for anything like that, do you have a like a did you create a signature for your emails? Like, do you have a signature that you've told the system, like, please put this signature down, and it's got all your info? Because I've seen a lot of people do that, and I don't have one yet, and I know it's fairly simple to do. I haven't built one.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't, but it would be. I probably should. You know what I mean?
hmm,
Like that's
yeah,
like, yeah, that's another way to sort of just have your little signature on everything. So
yeah,
no,
yeah.
but great idea. Do it. I
Um,
usually do.
yeah. Uh, are there any other, like, any events that, like, as far as conventions and such, that you've been to before that you would recommend? Because I'm always looking for, if I can make them work, I try to.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get to more of them, hence why I went to the Colorado thing in the first place. I heard about it and I was like, oh, I'll be going. Um, and I know of a couple of them, but I'm positive there are more than what I know of. Um,
Right. The um, no, but also that's a great way to do network. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
You met
yeah,
Austin, now you're on his list. Like multiply that 50 times. That's
mm,
gonna that's gonna
yeah,
pay off to where like there's always something coming in. Word of
yeah.
mouth is great. Like I don't go to a lot of events. Just it's not because I don't like them. It's more that I got a family, got kids, so that is not what I'm
Understandably so. Yes.
but if
Um,
that's not, if that's not a holdback for you, then definitely go to more. I would go to more if I didn't
yeah.
have,
Oh yeah.
uh,
I admit when I was talking to Dad about it a few months ago, and I mean, it was kind of harsh the way he said it, but it actually does make sense. He was like, it was before the Colorado thing, and I was debating about going or not going, and he goes, "Well, you have more money than you have job right now, so why don't I'd
yeah,
go if I were
yeah,
you." And I was like, "Okay, sure, I'll go." Um, and like I looked in your of course when I was investigating who to work with here, and I found you recommended. I was looking at your credits list. You got these a lot of credits, and I understand there is probably no go-to answer for this, but I like so far I could count on my hand the number of jobs I've actually been paid for,
mhm.
and I'm wondering like am I missing something as far as like here is how you get consistent stuff, or am I just is it just keep keep knocking on doors which it might be. I'm still figuring this out. So
So do you have your commercial demo made yet?
yes, it is on my website with my other demos. Mhm.
Okay, okay. Is that demo on Fiverr? Is it on
No,
any other site besides your own, basically?
it is not. Only the only reason I don't have a Fiverr is that now, from what I've heard, and this has kind of kept me away from that one in particular, is that it Uh, now I've heard from like my one other previous voice coach that I had a few years ago. He was a proponent of don't do Fiverr because that's where people go when they want to scrape the bottom of the barrel for actors and they don't actually want to pay what the job is worth. So I could make a Fiverr, of course. I of all the things that I was, I understand not one person's opinion is the end all be all here, but that's the principal reason why I don't have it on Fiverr. Now, I do need to put it in a few other places because my demos are like those three altogether. My principal ones are only on that site, and now that I think of it, why are they only there? They could be a few other places. Um, but no, I do not currently have a Fiverr. I might pick one up. I've just heard that work is sort of spotty over there, where it's like, well, you might or you might not, and if you do, it's not a lot of money, And I'm not expecting for like, you know, oh, this is for tons and tons of money, but consistency
I
is what
have
I'm
booked
hoping.
many jobs over $3,000 on there.
Hmm. Okay. Hmm.
I just I don't know if you saw it. I posted like a little earnings snap screenshot.
Hmm.
Did you see that by any
Uh,
chance?
I don't think so. No, not yet.
It's I just crossed over a quarter million in earnings on Fiverr. That does not include anything else,
Hmm.
nothing else, just Fiverr. My point being, I think you're leaving a lot of potential money on the table because it's happening on Fiverr. I
Hmm.
have gotten multiple Fortune 500 bookings from Fiverr. They're shopping on Fiverr. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
if you don't have a presence there, you're missing potential work. Now, is it spotty? Yes, it can be very spotty. The way that the algorithm works, it encourages new people. All right. So
Hmm.
which would be you if you started. I have, I've been on there since 2018, and I have, a lot of reviews and stuff like that. So if they didn't do this, then I'd be the only guy you see, and people like me. You know what I mean? Like these professionals that have been
Yeah.
doing it. Okay, in your case, who you are, I mean, you're a solid choice. I mean, listen to the demo, sound great. Okay, but you don't have any credit or few credits. You know what I mean?
Yes. Very very little at the moment.
So,
Yeah.
but the way Fiverr does it is they like I'll get work, for a day or two, because I'll get people looking at my stuff. Then all of a sudden, I won't get any work because they bump somebody else. So like,
Hmm.
there's this cyclical algorithm, which if you're a seasoned vet, it's frustrating. But if you're just starting out, that's exactly what you need because
Hmm.
people will notice you that wouldn't have noticed you before.
Hmm.
So I would say, and I'm not telling you how to live your life. There's people that stay away from it and all that, and it's always changing, and that can be frustrating. But I would say, what would it hurt? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's not a like yeah, it's and I'm once again I think I said this in my intro. I am not doing this ultimately to make money. If making money is a byproduct of this, that's awesome. But um, but no, I just like creating. I like helping people tell their stories and making my own. That's basically it.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
it is
yeah,
making money is for me because I got a family to support. I'm very mercenary. I don't mind
that
saying it. Like, oh no, I do this. I will do something to make as much money as I can. However, I love voice acting. Let's do it
yeah.
like this.
Yeah, yeah. It's rather that like because my ideal is I'd love to, especially since I don't currently have I don't have a boss yelling at me to come in and do stuff. I'm really hoping because I don't mind particularly if I end up having like several small jobs that ultimately
Yeah.
equate to the value of one large
Hmm.
job and I have no boss. So that's what I'm hoping to eventually do. But um, yeah, then again, I know it's realistic. You got you got to work. It won't just happen. Which hence the last 5 years of my life. But anyway, um, and would there be anybody as far as my last one here, as far as questions I thought of was if there were coaches in specific areas like mm, say audiobooks or characters or just
Right.
coaches that coaches that specialize in that, right?
Mhm.
Would you have any in mind that you've worked with that you were like, oh, definitely this person or that person, or besides yourself, obviously, because you do it too.
For
But
for audiobooks, Scott Brick. For characters, Pat Fraley.
okay, hold on, I'm gonna write that down real fast because I the amount of reading aloud I've done in my life is impressive according to my family, and I've been told by others, I'm like, why don't you do audiobooks? You should do
Yeah.
audiobooks. I'm like, yeah, but I know that doing that is not the same as the other areas, and there is actually training and how to get you know how to get better at doing that. So okay, so Scott.
Yeah, Brick, just like it sounds.
Okay.
Now I've bought one of Scott Brick's videos and sort of, I've emailed him and stuff. Pat Fraley, I've never worked with him per se, but he's got a lot of great stuff on his website and on YouTube, and I've gone through all that.
Hmm.
And so I've worked with him in that way. But
Okay. Okay.
definitely, he does have like he's got I don't know if it's a course, but he's got a thing where you can basically, uh, if you pay him like whatever the fee is, he will send you like five characters and then give you direction and then you perform them. Then he will listen back, give you direction, and then you do it again. Then I think he does one more round of sort of direction and then you're good. But like that
Hmm.
would be invaluable feedback because he has done, I mean, he's been hard at it since like the 60s.
Yeah, the name is somewhat familiar. I bet if I saw a character list, I'd be able to pick out
Yeah,
more than a
yeah.
couple.
He
Um,
was in the old animated Ninja Turtles. He was
oh, very nice, very nice.
he was in I think the Jetsons. He was like he's been in tons of stuff.
Hmm. Okay.
So big time stuff.
Mm.
But he's
Okay.
also a
Because
decent dude from what I can tell. He's not like a Hollywood weirdo. He's like a old school Hollywood dude that has a little bit of decency about him, which makes me like him more.
that's fair. That's fair. By the way, I don't know if you would have seen it, but I put my casting call up. It's on the casting call page.
Oh, I
Uh,
did not see it yet. I've been out for a little bit,
well,
so okay,
no,
I'll
it's
check
okay.
it in.
It's okay.
I'll
It's
pin it.
any and all are open. I admit I kind of wanted to cast myself as one of the characters, but I was like, uh, no. Hopefully, I get cast in someone else's thing, and then I could let other people. my
Okay,
character.
okay, well, I mean, check it out. The biggest names all do that. Ben Stiller, he's a huge producer and he acts in everything. He casts himself in everything. Ricky Gervais, same thing. He writes it, he produces it. He is the star of so much of his stuff. Why not?
I mean, yeah, I think I'll wait probably until I get until the time's up and we well, actually question about that by the way. The according to rules, the month time frame that's to do everything, right? That's the fully built, fully ready, fully done up, right? Mhm. Okay.
Ideally. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not gonna be really, strict about
Yeah.
it. But
You're a day late. No, no.
right, right. It'll
Um,
be like, okay, we'll wait. But the ideal of only a month, the idea of only a month is that you don't work yourself up about it. Like me, I got I've I got mine. I'm in it. I got my brother in it. I
mm,
got Nicholas from this group is in it,
nice.
and then one other guy is in it. I'm gonna piece it together. I'm gonna get some royalty free music. I'm gonna slap a couple sound effects on there, and we're good to go. It is not going to be Adventures in Odyssey quality.
Yeah.
It is not
Yeah.
going to be Lamplighter, Jake Muller, nothing like that. But I'm just starting out. I'm not Micah Touche or Alan Hurley or like, and that's okay. I'm going to work on my storytelling in audio form, and it'll make me better for it. And that's the goal for everybody else. Is like, don't get bent around the axle about it. You're going to be okay. Just make something, do your best. You got 30 days, and because a lot of that time is going to be just the casting process. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And so yeah,
I,
don't worry too much about it.
No, no, I was just I was wondering about like was the month for like just that aspect or all of it, which is fine. I have probably more time than most people considering my job is terribly simple at the moment.
Yeah.
Um but uh but yeah, and I also put up I think it's in the general chat if you need some kind of entertainment today. It being Hobbit Day, by the way, unless you
Oh,
didn't know about
nice.
that. I put up a I was actually, do you know JD from what's that?
Butter?
What's that? Yes, yes, Son of
Yeah,
Western.
yeah.
I couldn't
Uh-huh.
remember the last name.
Mhm.
Yeah, he I didn't listen in full to it, but he had taken a it's live now. It's a he dramatized a piece from the Fellowship of the Ring, and I thought,
Oh,
oh, that's a fun idea.
that is very cool.
So then I took a different piece, and for a few hours today, I slapped something together, and it once again not Odyssey, not anything professional, but it was
That is phenomenal practice, that storytelling.
I did dramatize a version. Now, the one thing I maybe you know the answer to this. I've never encountered this before. Maybe not. I don't know how much you've worked with sound stuff, but I noticed oddly that when I was playing it back afterwards, throughout the whole process, I could hear it. It was perfectly loud enough. It was fine. And then when oddly I after I posted it, I listened to it through my earbuds through my phone, and for some reason it is markedly quieter there than it was, and I do not know why, and I've never seen that happen, and it's just been bugging me today because I don't want that to potentially happen again should I put something up and then unbeknownst to me, if anyone listens to it in earbud, there I could hear it, but it was difficult. Yeah, I had to sort of push my ears to hear it. I'm like, why is it coming through like that? I don't know. I've never seen that happen before. So
Yeah.
it's just been bugging me today. I'm not sure what's wrong.
I know for finished products, a lot of the time I like to put them at -1 decibels,
Mm,
normalize it to -1 on Audacity. And that seems to be nice and loud when it's on social media or on YouTube. And I don't get
mm.
those complaints. If it's less than that, sometimes I'll get like the comments. They're like, I can't hear it. And it's like, well, it was fine going in, but maybe I don't know if there's
Mm.
different things that affect
Yeah,
you upload it, different things can affect it. But
yeah,
yeah, if
for
I do
sure.
-1, normalize it to -1, that I never have. issues with volume from the audience.
Okay. Okay. Because that, yeah, because I tried to like, I didn't change my normalizing like, because I don't normally like day to day in my editing thing. I don't normally normalize just because I don't need to. It's not part of my job when I work the podcast. So when I um when I did it in this case, but it was to markedly higher than -1. It was negative, 10 or something, and it did that scary thing where all the the very top of the waveform jumps way up through the
Mhm.
whole thing, and then I was like, well, now it's going to be clipping all the time. What's wrong? you know, and but it's okay. It's just one of those things I need more practice in messing with so I can get it down because it ended up being fine, but it was just like, okay, I'm not going to do that. But I did up the in general volume too because I was like, well, part of it is just the in general volume can be a little louder here, um, and yeah, I kept it as balanced as I could anyway. But yeah, I did put that up there as well, and I think now that I'm in talks with my artist friend who's going to be doing my logo and such for my new
Okay.
YouTube channel. I decided to scrap it because I thought about it and I was like, well, it's since this is not going to have anything to do with my old videos, makes more sense to make a new channel
Okay.
because
Yeah, you can't go wrong with
um,
that.
yeah, and then but yeah, I'm going to try to do this and my format right now, which is you've been on more on YouTube than me, at least recently, is my format right now is basically going to be like there's going to be the intro and outro that are the same every time, no matter what it is, um, but then per episode, right, like per video there's going to be a specific, what follows the intro is like, well, in this, in this video, here's the kind of story we're going to be telling, right? Versus, because otherwise I would hate to be a possible consumer and then be like, if you don't give any preface on what kind of story and you just drop them into it
Right.
without, it can be somewhat confusing. And then I always dislike it when I'm listening to something or reading something and, well, not all the time, but especially with listening where it's like, I mean, that works better in written form than audio form because if in audio form, it seems to be harder to if you're not given any sort of preface. It's like, oh, I have to spend the first 5 minutes catching up on what kind of situation are we in, who are we following, who are the all that stuff. Um, but yeah, I've been talking with an artist friend of mine who's going to be doing my stuff for me because she makes really great art and I would rather pay actual art people
Yeah.
who know how
Yeah.
to do this. And
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
so yeah, otherwise it's been interesting. Oh, have you heard, by the way, you might have heard of this because it was on Katie Lee's Facebook page. She put it up a few weeks ago. Um, it was after the Colorado thing. She told all of us this too. It was an idea then, and now it's an official event. There's going to be a uh, it's a it's like a voiceover Christian voiceover, convention kind of a thing, but it's actually like a cruise. Apparently,
I
it's gonna
saw that.
be
I did see that, or sort of a like an interest post. Like, could we get
yeah,
enough
like
interest?
trying to get enough people into it. Yeah, so at this point, it is officially happening. It is
Really?
officially a thing,
Okay. Yeah.
and the dates are assigned and everything. I I was talking with parents about it recently because I knew I wanted to go, but I wasn't sure if they wanted to. And the sooner they figure it out, the sooner I know
Right.
if I will need other ways to get there because of course they're sailing out of I think Texas, so I'd have to
Okay.
fly to get there. Um, but I was looking at their roster, and it looked like some really cool people were going to be
That's
there.
awesome.
Um,
That's cool.
um, but yeah, I once again you're welcome to send in any audition. I kept my drama very simple. I got three
Okay.
characters covering all of it. Um, And yeah, I've got two. Actually, well, I say two male characters, although one of them could very well be a female if someone wanted to. I didn't specify whether they were male or not in the script. So, um, but yeah, so you'll see this if you look at the call page. It's I just after the meeting, I was like, okay, so what kind of thing do I want to tell here? And I was like, well, actually, before I say this, are you familiar with a musical artist on YouTube named Colm McGuinness?
Yes.
He one of his recent songs. I love this song so much. It's so funny. One of his recent songs takes place from the point of view of a non-player character in a like a D&D adventure. It's like
Hmm.
it's those characters that you don't uh they're like, they're basically window dressing on the way to your next thing, and they don't really do anything after you disappear, and they stay in the village and live happily ever after, or whatever they do. They're not part of the story. Um, and I thought, after the meeting, I was thinking about that song, and I was like, you know what? Wouldn't it be interesting if we if I took like a trope of the fairy tale genre, like some staple character that in some archetype or other always shows up to give advice or, grant some kind of a blessing or whatever, and then just disappears and you never see them again. What would happen if I focused on one of those characters? So basically the protagonist, the main character in this is a she's like the classic forest woman that lives alone in her hut or whatever, and day to day she grants, people come to her for advice or like, please see my future or I'll do whatever. And and one day she just wakes up and decides, you know what, I'm cool with doing my job, but what if I what if I just didn't do it for like one day? For one day, they leave me alone and they do, they figure it out. And she stumbled across the idea of what if I had a day off? And that's the whole plot. That's the entire plot of the whole thing. And it actually turned out very funny. I very much I am happy with it. I'm hoping it comes out all right. Um, I of course I you know if you still want to audition, audition. I don't want to tell you what happens, but it's fun. Um, um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's and once again, I'll say, thank you again to you for like coming up with the idea for this whole platform,
Yeah.
because I've and this is something I've known for a while, but I'm reminded of is it helps it helps my own motivation level to know that groups of people are also doing this and it's not just myself.
Right.
Because it's so much, certain days I've had I'm just like, well, I could make the whatever I was planning to make, but I really don't feel like it because who even cares besides me, you know. um yeah, I've had a thought too about, unrelated to platform, but for the last like 2 or 3 years, I've had this thought about Christmas, and I was thinking like, okay, well, because I'm a fan of, rather than get presents for everybody individually, sometimes I'll just spend big and get one present and everybody gets it. But I was thinking, okay, what could that be? And for the last 2 or 3 years, I've thought, what if, since I know how to do this now, what if I were to take a book that the family likes and everyone loves and I know would be a slam dunk, and I fully recorded it, fully perhaps dramatized or read it with effects, with everything else, and not for money, but I basically would email everybody on Christmas and say, here's your Christmas present. And of course, the one I keep coming back to is The Hobbit. And I think that's the one I'm going to be doing, although I every single year it I keep having the thought, and it just comes it sneaks up on me, and I never have time to do it properly because the time that would be required. But I think this next year, once January hits, I'm gonna really try to be like, okay, if I start it now, I can feasibly have it done by Christmas or maybe even before, I hope. But
I
we'll
think that,
see.
yeah. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Uh,
But
and if
uh,
a Hobbit, you would couldn't do that because it's still copyright, or at least
yeah,
not.
I
I mean,
could.
you could do that, but you couldn't put it on YouTube probably,
No, not
or at
for.
least it would be dangerous. They could strike your channel.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Which
if you did it with, but if it's purely a present to everybody, no one's ever going to know, and you're good.
yeah,
But if you were to do it, if you did a public domain book that nobody could come after you
that's
for,
fair.
then all this work that you're putting in, you could also put it on YouTube and potentially,
Hmm.
that's like this huge audiobook because that would be, I mean, when I do an audiobook, I just do like it's my voice, nothing. That's all I do. Because some
Yeah,
people, a lot of people, that's all they want.
yeah,
I've thought about taking books that I've already done and then adding sound effects and then making them sound effect versions, but I haven't done that yet. But I just think that would be super cool if you did that with a
hmm.
book that people like that you could put on YouTube and then that could really grow your channel.
Well, I had my initial thought as far as producing my own content was Treasure Island, like I mentioned.
Hmm.
But when I was looking at it, it's easy to look at how seemingly small it is when you're reading it yourself, and then you look at it on screen and you're like, oh, this is a lot of words, and how do I do this exactly? And because I was like, because I never fully produced something myself. Like the only other thing I did was through the one production company I recently was acquainted with,
Hmm.
and I was like, well, I'm not sure I necessarily want to take on something like this as a trial because I don't, it's big and it's intimidating, and I'm going to put this on the back burner, and I'm going to keep it in mind, but I don't know if I want to start this first. So I wanted to do something a little smaller, hence uh, uh, by extension what led to the YouTube idea, because that's going to be original like short story formats
Hmm.
instead of well, I say short story. Well, short story, but video to video. I'm thinking that if I can do it, if I can do this properly, it will be episode to episode, video to video, 20 to 30 minutes for the whole thing, right? Whatever the story happens to be, and um, and plus I that way it's either my original work or perhaps submission wise, because I had my the artist friend who's working with me. They're the ones who asked me. They're like, well, would you take commissions? And I said, well, I hadn't really thought of that, but if somebody wants, like if someone has a story they want to, they want me to take and put the effects and do everything else with, I probably could take commissions. But then again, that's a whole branch of things. I don't know really how that works. I'd have to familiarize myself with that, because if I'm taking commission, that means that's money, and how do you get paid and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but uh, but yeah, it's interesting because in my head I like to jump ahead like 10 steps to the whole, like, oh great, now I get to cast it, and for a place of an audio drama, like now I'm at the casting part where I can tell all my friends to act for it. But I like to do that too early, and then I have to stop and remember, like, no, the script's not even written yet.
Right.
You have to do the unfortunate, less interesting part first, you
Right.
know. And um, but I put on my list this year because my since my birthday is like next month. Wow, how is it already that time? Um, but as part of it, one thing I was told of while in Colorado, it was Phil Lawler actually who was there who mentioned it.
Yeah.
Um, was the final draft software, which I'd heard vaguely about. I didn't really know what it was, and then I was, because I thought, because I'd heard he mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah, and for some reason I thought it was another like subscription only version, but then I did some digging, and actually there is a way you could get it without a subscription, and I'm like, oh, that's great, I'd love
Yeah.
that, because it's of course, I usually use like Google Documents for most of my stuff right now,
Okay.
and it's it, I mean, it's possible, but it's also not formatted on purpose to work with scripts. And from what I understand, a final draft, it automatically formats
Right.
the script for you, which is
Mhm.
awesome. Um,
Celtics is the same way, and they have a free version. I know.
Yes, I do have a Celtics, but unfortunately, it's I only have the free version, which I am working another script with the
Okay.
production company. Well, I'm working with the production company I worked with before, and I believe the free version only allows for one script at once.
Okay.
Uh, so
Right.
so I
Well, if
don't.
it's good enough for Phil Lawler, it's good enough for you and me. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah,
And I had
absolutely.
a friend that he's has a lot of stuff out on Netflix. He's a screenwriter. He said like Final Draft. That's what you ought to use. Like that's industry standard. That's a real good
Yeah,
program.
for plenty of people. Yeah,
Mhm.
I it's true, and I also think if I had something like that, I could hopefully progress my writing more quickly because um, my like at the moment I usually dictate to Google Documents through my phone because as unfortunate as it is, my phone's recognition of my voice is more accurate than my computer.
Okay,
It's
interesting.
because I have a like I used to have a dictation I have a dictation software called Dragon Naturally Speaking, I think is
Yeah,
the name of
yeah,
it.
I've heard of that.
Uh,
My daddy
but
showed up.
it's like years and years old now, and I'd have to get a new version, which I could get, but for I stopped using it because for some weird reason, whenever I would start dictating a new section, the like the program for whatever reason would jump the cursor back to a previous point in the text where the cursor wouldn't be and then just wouldn't wasn't supposed to be and then just start typing again and I'm like no why are you putting it there, and then it would also put and at the beginning of everything I did for some reason. It's been a problem for the last couple of years. So when I finally got a phone like this that could actually understand for the most part my dictation, I've normally just been using this. But
Have you used Descript? Have you heard of Descript?
no, I don't think I'm familiar with that one. Uh-uh.
That's a good one. That's a great program. They've got a free version as well. I think it's up to 3 hours of audio or something, and then you
Hmm.
just delete the audio and get 3 more hours. I think. But basically, if you were doing something, you could literally talk or upload an audio. I mean, you could talk into your phone, let's say, just talk, 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 put it in here, and then it'll throw it all up, and you can edit it into a document. Like
Okay.
real fast. Yeah, it's Descript, like DE script .com.
Okay.
Just check that out, and it may not work for you, but for what you're trying to do, I would say at least take a look at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm always trying to find ways to, not to rush process, but it's because I'm a very slow typer in comparison.
Mhm.
So when I can dictate, that really is better for me
Yeah.
um, to do stuff. And then uh, I've also thought as well, like I know some people consider them to be, the source material to be like, oh, that's for kids. That's not serious. But there's a channel I watch occasionally on YouTube that does something very similar to what I'm trying to do, but he does the stories he does are they're specifically meant for like relaxation and sleep.
Hmm.
That kind of thing, which would not be what mine would be, but one of the things that he does that I very much love, and I might do this too, is basically uh, he'll take like an established world, like I don't know, The Witcher 3 as an example. He made a whole story out of that by writing an original in that world, which according to what I read is not technically to as long as it's original, it can be apparently still part of you can use the names and the locations and like the characters as long as you're not claiming like, oh, I'm gonna as long as it's not from somebody else.
Yeah.
Um, which is another possibility. But I think between the two of them, formatting is either going to be fully like audiobook style with most likely my I'm the reader, I do the voices, I do everything with some with some effects and some music and such put in there. Or if I want to go the extra mile, which I would think would be a draw for people, would be to write up a full script for a story and then get buddies to come in and act in them and then like make a full production out of it.
Mhm.
Um, uh, which, to be fair, I mean, I could think of a few people that would be interested in something like, "Hey, I have this Batman thing I'm doing. I need a Batman voice. I
Mhm.
need whatever else. I don't know." But yeah, I'm just trying to be more consistent about actually, you know, contribute. Pushing towards like at least once every day doing something that is like, "Oh, right, this is a thing that you want to do for eventually a job, right? Well, what have you actually done today?
Right.
You know?
I think that's great. I mean, keep doing that. Just on days that I don't book work from somewhere, I'm making something. I'm
Hmm.
recording something to put on my YouTube, my Instagram. Like I create content every single day. I
Hmm.
like it on the days when I get paid for it. But some days I don't get paid for it, at least not till it goes up on YouTube and starts earning money that way. But either way, I'm going to be creating content every single day. That sounds like what you're doing. Keep doing that.
I'm trying to. I'm trying. Yeah. When you do you use thumbnails for your videos?
A
Well,
lot
like
of them I do.
when
Like
you
if I do a live, then I kind of don't put a thumbnail, or I might take a picture of me just to show that it's like a human person as opposed
yeah
to an AI generated something or other. But
yeah
on like an audio book, then I'll do like a thumbnail with the title and stuff.
yeah. When you make yours, I I've I made a I had a Canva account like a long time ago, which I've
Mhm.
revived for this.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, like, which one? Like, do you have a free one you use, or you pay for one to
Good.
make
I
your
use
make
Canva. I use the paid version of Canva because I do other
paid
stuff
version?
outside of YouTube too. But yeah, I do. But I mean, I don't think I would even need a paid version if all I was doing was the YouTube stuff.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think if all you're doing is YouTube with Canva, you don't even need the paid version. Just
Yeah.
like take a picture of you, put some font up there, and it should be like one word or two. It shouldn't be much. It ought to direct you down to the title, which is searchable, and then go that way.
It's interesting because when I was messing with it, and maybe this is just how Canva is, because I can think of so many YouTube videos that have these really cool, like colorful, vibrant, kind of animated looking thumbnails, and I've seen them and they look awesome. But then I try to make mine and I search for it and it looks too realistic. It looks, because I like sort of the whimsical side of stuff, not
Mhm.
necessarily for every story or anything, but I like, you know, if I can make it look, colorful and animated versus live action, I probably will if I can
Yeah,
manage it.
right.
But I'm wondering though how does so many of these like where do people go to make these or find these? Because I know for a fact, well, not for a fact, but I'd be surprised if they are going to an artist for every single video. That does not make sense.
Right.
But
Exactly.
yeah, I need to look at Canva again, see if there's a way to like search specifically for like I don't know if the term for them would be. I know it's odd. I don't know if the term would be like animation or like vibrancy or something, but it's very obviously a like a cartoon style of color, but
Mhm.
it's well actually hold on, let me find one. I will send you an example of this um in case you've seen ones like these before, and it could be the creators are from or they have like a paid subscription or whatever, but I'm gonna look for this real fast. Okay,
I'm gonna have to go here in a second.
no problem. No problem.
Yeah, I do want to see this.
Yeah, like so.
And
This is
Canva's
this.
great. I have not begun to plumb the depths of its capabilities,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, so this is the channel that like as far as the art, I love this one, and I'm always amazed that with all the hold on, where is it? There it is. Okay. Um, no, not screen. Here I will send the chat. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So that's the one that is. I always, whenever I watch anything from this guy, I'm always amazed at like, okay, where are you getting these amazing arts? Where are you getting all these things? And I,
Yeah,
it's it probably, I mean, it probably is like it might be a paid service, it might not be. I don't know. It's just ones like that, and then similar channels that are similar to his. I've seen their uh, uh, I've seen their art, and they always look so cool, and I always wonder where are they going to create these because uh, because I mean, just for even if it's just a
yeah.
cover photo for the whole thing, like with the title and the, you know, whatever else. I'm like, I would take time to make cool art if I knew how to make art like this.
That is
um,
super cool. I have not seen that. Thanks for showing me. I really, yeah, dozing dragon ASMR. That's super cool.
yeah, yeah. See, I will warn you though, like he writes them to he writes them to fall asleep to. Like that's the whole point. But
Mm-hmm.
he's a really good writer. He is a really good writer from what I could, if
It
those are
makes
anything to
like,
go by. And I like, I'm more often than not, I'm like, I don't want to sleep because I
right.
want to know how the story is.
That's
anyway, anyway, yeah, I don't want to keep you, but yeah, if you like, because the art thing is kind of where I'm trying to dig into right like now because I'm like, nothing wrong with realistic, but as you could tell, looking at those, I'm like, I would want all my thumbnails to look something like, I mean, not to copycat, but like,
yeah.
you
Look
know,
good. Look and
yeah.
have uniformity. Tomorrow night, I'm going to try to do a like a table read, and people can come in with their scripts and
Ooh.
so get some stuff ready. And it doesn't. It can be more than one. It will just depend on who shows up, who has what. But around, I'm about to put it on the calendar for 7 Central tomorrow evening. So just
It's Tuesday. Depending on when it starts, I might be late only because I believe podcast group is recording tomorrow. But
okay, okay,
I will double check on that, and I'd love to be there. So,
okay, okay. Well, maybe I'll massage that time a little bit. What about 7:30 Central Time?
well, we normally start at 6:30, and we run. If it were a normal day, we normally run to about 8. But um, I can double check with that because we're actually in hiatus right now between seasons of our show.
Okay,
So I think we're recording tomorrow, but I don't know what exactly we are recording, so it might not take as long as a normal session.
okay,
Um, but I'll ping people after this. I'll ping everybody
okay.
else, and
Well, I'll wait to put it on the calendar. Let me, if you're definitely doing it, we can hold off, or I can do something else tomorrow.
okay, because
Uh,
I know that Wednesday, as far as I know, I am clear for sure. Tuesday's just recording night. If Tuesday works better for you, I can double check with them and just see what they say, and I'll get back to you, whichever you want.
okay,
Um,
okay. Do that.
um,
Let me know what they say. Usually, I have church on Wednesday nights usually, and so
okay,
usually I'm not back till like 8:30 or 9. Which, if you're one more hour further, that's pretty late to start.
yeah,
So
no problem. I'll ask and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Then. Okay.
okay, that sounds good. Good deal.
All right.
Alrighty, man. It's
Thanks
great
a
talking
bunch.
to you.
Talk
Absolutely.
to you later.
I'll
Bye.
see you. Bye.